Welcome to my channel. I want to chat with you today about IELTS Writing Task 2. It's probably the most difficult thing that you can do on the IELTS test. Do you agree with that? I mean, usually the marks for those people that are preparing lag behind the other three sections, maybe as much as a band. There's a reason for that. It's because it's probably the highest thing on the cognitive scale, the highest thing that you have to do. You have to get all the grammar correct. You have to get the vocabulary correct. You have to write it with your hand. You have to plan it. You have to sequence your thoughts. You have to integrate your thoughts, and you have to present a point of view. Then you have to hand it over to someone, and they're going to put it under a microscope and look at every word. They're going to check to see whether every verb is expressed in the right tense, and they're even going to check your spelling. Look, that's a hard thing to deal with, even for a native speaker. And I'd be willing to bet that when you go into that task 2 situation, you're a little bit intimidated. What I mean is you're a little bit afraid. Am I right or wrong? In fact, all your energy just goes straight up to your head, and you're in a state of chaos. You're in a state of fear. You're not really performing naturally. Now, on the other three sections, you are a little bit more natural. In the speaking test, you can kind of attune yourself to interactively with the teacher and be in the flow of the interaction. And on the reading test, well, you just read that quite naturally as you read everything. The listening test, it's the same. But when we come to the task 2, you have to think more. You have to plan more. It's more calculated, isn't it? It's a harder thing to deal with. Actually, when it comes down to it, the task 2 is a test as to whether you can think in English. That's right, think in English. And that's the thing that you're probably resisting. You know, if you're Japanese, you're thinking, well, what's wrong with Japanese? If you're Chinese, you're thinking, what's wrong with Chinese? If you're Brazilian, you're thinking, well, what's wrong with Portuguese? I mean, it might not be that conscious, but in the back of your mind, you're resisting it. Now, I have a kind of a theory that this task 2 is a good test as to whether you're really going to get professional level English in your life. Because you're at about intermediate, upper intermediate, or maybe even advanced stage, where I think you make a decision. Are you going to go all the way and become a really excellent user of English? Or are you just going to drift by and maybe use English as well as you might just in a very ordinary job or a very low capacity? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. You can use your English any way you want, but from my point of view, you've gotten this far. Why don't you go all the way? I know you can do it, and I believe in you. It's just really a matter of being more natural on that task 2. Now, as I said, you are pretty natural on your other three tasks, but when it comes to task 2, you're in a state of fear. And that's because you have to generate ideas. You have to think a little bit more, and you have to use your hand to write down those ideas. So what I think is, it's just something you have to prepare for. You have to prepare by learning or opening up to thinking in English so that the state of mind that you're in on the actual exam is more natural. And I think with a series of videos that I can give you right now, I can make you a winner. If you follow through with them, you'll be able to go into that more flowing state, that more natural state when presented with a thinking situation. Well, that's all I've got to say for now. Until that time.